Hey gang, Kevin Gootee, Gutting the Sacred Cow bonus feature. Guess what? I saw Mortal Kombat yesterday as promised. Guess what? Kind of good. I liked it. Look, here are a few knocks. First of all, it does not have that banging ass soundtrack the one the 95 version did. Two, it does not have a tournament style bracket of fighters like the game, like the first movie did. Kind of But here's the story. It's still good. It works. And even that dumb tattoo, the birthmark story with the dragons on it, you kind of buy it. And you know what I really liked about this film? They explain how some of the fighters have their powers. Because in the game, for example, Sonya has her pink laser she shoots from her hands. They explain how she gets them here. They explain how Liu Kang gets his fireballs. They explain how Kano gets his laser eye. Kind of cool the way they do that. The Sub-Zero Scorpion battles, pretty good. Really good. In fact, the Scorpion story, I liked a lot. The new guy who you've never heard of, I like how they kind of tie it in. It's not a bad tie-in. Look, you're not expecting top-tier level plot writing. I get it. Fine. But in the realm of the story in which it's told, everything is good. It's fine. It's palatable. You want an hour and 50 of ass whipping? You get it. You get tons of cursing, which is why it's rated R. You get some kick-ass fatalities. You get a few sound effects from the game. You get everything you're looking for in this. I don't understand what the people what the hate is. It's a little different than 95. The 95 version is very cheesy. First of all, you have Lambert playing a Japanese thunder god, which you're like, now at the time, you're like, yeah, that wasn't a good call. At least now they have an Asian dude playing Raiden. Kung Lao's badass. Liu Kang's badass. Liu Kang is ripped to shit, by the way. Sonya's fine. Jax is good. Kano guy, a little overbearing at times, but amusing more often than not. The bad guys, Cabal, Melina, Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung a little wooden. I like the 95 Shang Tsung a little more. But you get everything you want, and of course, they leave it wide open for the sequel. I like it. It's good. I saw it in the theater. I had no problem dropping the $10. I went in the afternoon to see it. I liked it. 6.5, 7 out of 10. I like it. There you go. Kevin Goatee out. Let's hear what Kevin Israel has to say.
Well, I just finished Mortal Kombat and I am here to tell you what I think. And I think it was crap. Wow, that movie was bad. There was nothing in this movie. There was no plot development. There was no character development. There was very little backstory on anybody except the one character who I didn't even know who he was. I thought I knew who all the characters were in this were. And the main guy, I didn't know who he was. Maybe it was from a version of the game that I never played. But the whole movie, it's dragged for an action movie. The fighting was uninteresting and pretty unexciting. You saw the coolest stuff in the trailers. We've seen better in Avengers movies. And speaking of Avengers movie, this actually felt like somebody gave a bunch of kids $100 million and said, here, make your own Avengers movie. Because that's what they're trying to do. They had some weird mystic magic that each person was trying to develop, and it formed in its own ways, and none of it made sense. And they all got trained and were ready to fight within what felt like 3 hours. There was just no sense of time or any significance. It felt like a really inconsequential plot. And there was supposed to be a fighting tournament. Mortal Kombat's about a fighting tournament. There was no tournament. There was fighting, but it was for no reason. And there was no reason to get behind any of these characters. Nobody was especially likable. There was one guy who's likable, and he dies kind of early on, so that was disappointing. But the whole movie just kind of clunked along until the end. And in the last 3 minutes, you finally get the cool Mortal Kombat soundtrack theme song, which was the only time I got it at all excited. This movie was a dud and a boring dud. I give it a 2.